today I thought I would sit down with you and answer any teacher related questions. I put a Q&A question box up on my Instagram and you guys had so many questions. It was so cool, and I actually did a post as well where you guys commented all these questions too. So it was like question overload, and I didn't like pre-go through them and pick like particularly good ones. I just thought I would like scroll through my phone, and as they came I would answer them. So let's do that now. Okay, what kind of degree do you have? So I actually have a bachelor in teaching / arts. So that pretty much means it's like a double degree. So it means that I've got, I don't really know. They kind of like made us do the arts thing as well, which was awesome because obviously that's like my passion. If I wasn't teaching, I'd be doing something artsy anyway. So yeah, I've got a bachelor in teaching and arts and in primary teaching. Technically, I can teach up until I think like year 10 casually, but definitely my love for teaching is in the younger students in K to 6. I don't think I could teach early childhood. I just think that I don't have the qualification for that, and that's not where like my heart is. My heart's definitely in primary school, and yeah, I don't really know. Lots of people, like a few questions was like, what's your favorite year to teach? And I love the year that I teach now. To be fair, I've been teaching the same year for about 3 years, and that's really been the only experience that I've had besides pracs and some casual work. So I really, really love year 3 and 4, that kind of middle ground where there's like a lot of content, like it's really content heavy, but they're also like not learning the basics. So they know generally how to read and write and basic maths concepts. So you can kind of get a little bit more into depth without getting to the age of 5 and 6 where lots of different issues may arise, a little bit more drama, a little bit more attitude that might come as well. And behavioral management makes, you know, kind of gets like really different. You have like different strategies for that age group. So I think that 3 and 4 is like the sweet spot. However, I do miss like teaching littlies. Like I do miss kindergarten and year 1 where you're learning phonics, and they just see the world in such a different way to kids that are a little bit older, and you're just teaching them basic life skills. I feel like a lot of kindergarten is literally like just helping them through life and teaching them basic life skills, and I kind of miss that. But I love 3 and 4, and I think that's where again like my heart is, in year 3 and 4. So like I said, what made you want to become a teacher? Now this is a really lame story, but to be honest, I had no idea what I wanted to do out of like high school. I thought I wanted to be a florist, except that I have really bad allergies, so that would have been like the most terrible idea. I did want to be a singer. I wanted to do lots of like music-based things, but I knew that I needed like a stable job, and I was teaching music at the time, and I thought, oh, like I really like this, I'm kind of like semi good at it, I should get a degree in it, so I know exactly what I'm doing. I was also very sadly, this is like so embarrassing to say, I wish it was some like fantastic story where I was like I had a dream and I just knew I was going to be a teacher. I literally was copying Jess Day from New Girl. I was like, I just want to be Jess Day. I just want to be just like her. Like, I just think she's so fun, and so many people like aligned me with her, with my personality, and like just loving creative stuff and just being like so oblivious to the world in the way that I just saw like, hopefully, well, it sounds a bit lame, but see like the light and everything and just be embarrassing and would just sing all the time. And I really was like, well, if she does teaching, maybe that's something I should do. And it's so dumb, but I've done that my whole life. Like I went through so many phases of like thinking I was like a character. I was like, oh, like I was obsessed with Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and I thought I was Sailor Moon. And then I was obsessed with the Saddle Club, and I thought I was Stevie from the Saddle Club. And then I was obsessed with like Avril Lavigne, and I dyed my hair and I thought I was punk rock chick. And then in my later years, I literally thought I was Jess Day. I cut my hair into like a thick brown front fringe. I dressed like her at uni. I literally thought I was her, and I know that's the most tragic story to tell. And I'm gonna put some pictures in here because it's very embarrassing too, but that, my friends, is the truth. What's your biggest challenge with teaching? Parents, workload, behavior, etc. I think that the hardest part of teaching is 100% the workload, because you kind of have to wear lots of hats, and you're expected to be obviously a teacher number one, but you feel like admin creeps in and takes over your whole life. And I feel like that's me. Like, I just let admin take over because I didn't sign up for an office job, and a lot of the time teaching is data collection, emailing, like program writing, program creating, content creating. It is like an admin job, and you go, well, that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to teach kids, like make really cool lessons, make really cool resources, but I feel like a lot of the time that's like the secondary, even though that should be the number one, because you've got all these other things that you have to do your job correctly, and to the book and to policy. So it is really tricky, but I think definitely workload is the hardest thing in there. It's not like the other stuff is really hard too. If you have like a really hard class behavior wise or anything like that, but I'm very lucky that my students are gorgeous, and I've developed some strategies now that they're definitely manageable. How much time do you spend on work while at home? None. I try not to do any at home unless it's like something like reports or something. There's definitely seasons that I go through where I do work at home, but I try to do this thing where I work like Monday to Friday, really, really long hours, and then on the weekends, they're like my hours to clock off and be totally free, because I find that if you blur the lines between school and home too much, that you start to burn out quicker. Not to say I don't feel burnt out a lot of the time, but I think that if I get to school super early or I leave like a little bit later, that I can get more done. All the resources are there for me. I don't have to print stuff at home. I don't have to, I don't have to do stuff at home, and then it's already there and I don't have to carry it back and forth to school. And a lot of the reason I do that is because I catch the train and I walk probably either side of the train a good like 20 minutes. So I can't carry a tub of 30 books or more than that. I can't do any of those things because I physically can't do it. So it stops me from bringing work home. If it's like assessment week or something, I will take like some assessments home and like mark them on the train, but I can't physically carry a lot of stuff home. So that's kind of cool. Because it's a really good excuse to not take stuff home. So I try and get everything done in the Monday to Friday period, and that way Saturday, Sundays are for myself, for my husband, for my family, for things like YouTube and Instagram and all those other things that I've got going on, singing. Yeah, I try to keep that separate because I think that's where people start to get super burnt out super quickly. And I know not everyone has that luxury. I know lots of people need to get home, get to their kids, put them to bed and work after 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. or whatever it might be. So I'm lucky in the way that I have that luxury to just try not to work at home, because I've got that hour train trip as well where I can normally mark some work or cut stuff out or whatever it might be. Okay, someone's asked me about the accreditation process. So as you know, if you follow me on Instagram, I've done the accreditation process. I'm now a proficient teacher according to the NESA guidelines, I guess, to the board of NESA. And I think that the accreditation process isn't as like crazy as you think it is. I think I might do like a dedicated video about the accreditation process, because I actually run like an accreditation group at school, helping like proficient teachers feel like confident in submitting their accreditation, because some schools make it out to be like this scary thing that's horrible and takes all this time, but actually if you're teaching, you've got most of the stuff, you just have to write the annotations along with it. So I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea about accreditation, that it's this big scary horrible thing. So I might do a dedicated video, because that, like, talking about that would take like 20 minutes alone. How do you tackle differentiation? I think differentiation or adjustments is so important. I think that so many unis drill it into you that you have to have like this whole separate plan for each individual kid for differentiation to happen. But sometimes differentiation can be something really, really simple, which is just keeping, you know, a small group of kids on the floor with you and going through the lesson again, while the students are a little bit more independent, can work at their tables. So something like that, something like a scaffold, steps of what to do, like literally 1, 2, 3, can help kids stay on track. simplifying the lesson, and having different success criteria for different kids is also really helpful. And you can come up with that together, or just have different expectations of some children. So your success criteria for some might be like, write half a page, and for some other kids might be write 4 sentences. That is differentiation, and I think so many people think you have to have like a separate lesson to achieve that, but you don't. Okay, you still want them, it's still kind of the same learning intention, you just have different success criteria in order to achieve those goals, because it's just silly if you're trying to teach to every single child, because it just doesn't happen. I've got 30 kids in my class. There's no way I could do 30 lesson plans for every single lesson. That's just insane. And obviously you want to cater for every student's needs, but sometimes differentiation can be just as simple as sitting with them for a little bit longer, or having them sit with you at your desk, sitting at the boomerang table, partnering, peer tutoring. Utilize those things, because you do not need to like plan separate things. It's just like for some things you do, but not for every day. It's just, that would be insane. What website do you download all the templates for decorations in your room and resources? I use Teach-Data for pretty much the majority of all my lessons and all my decorations, because I've got a really easy like service, and all this stuff like matches and is aligned with the Australian curriculum, so it makes it really easy. A lot of stuff on TPT and Twinkle and all these other fantastic websites are based off like American curriculum, or I don't know, European curriculum, and that's not what I teach to. I teach Australian curriculum, so Teach-Data is really good for Australian curriculum. I've got literally, I can't even, like, so many questions on here. Did you study full-time or part-time? I studied full-time for 4 years. Oh my goodness. And someone said, did you work in that time? And yes, I did. I juggled about 3 different jobs during university. They changed a lot because I don't know, I was doing lots and lots of things and always constantly changing my job. And 4 years, like, you don't always have the same job that whole time. So I worked in retail at a number of places. I worked in hospitality. I used to run, this is really lame, I used to run like a photo booth for weddings. So I would go and like set it all up and like make sure everyone was having fun and using the photo booth and all that kind of stuff. It was such a weird job. I also taught singing as well. So I was attached to like a singing school, and I was a teacher there as well. So I had lots of different jobs during uni, and I was working about 3 of them at the same time, as well as doing full-time study. So during uni, I was always so busy. Like, I just found uni insanely hard. I was not a great uni student. I never wanted to go. But when I did my pracs and stuff, that's when I knew, like, I have to stick this out, because my end goal is being a teacher. And just because I wasn't enjoying necessarily going to uni and doing lectures and doing assignments and all those things, I just had to keep thinking, what is your end goal? Your end goal is to be a teacher, and you really, really want that. So yeah, that's the only way I could think about uni and justify going to uni, because for the first year, and poor Bryce, like my boyfriend at the time, in my first year of uni, I just cried every night. I just didn't want to do it. How long have you been teaching, and which grades have you taught? So I've been teaching, this is my 3rd year on class, but I did like a random like casual term just after my internship. So in 2016, I did my 1-term internship where I did 10 weeks in the same classroom teaching. And then after that, I actually got like lots of casual work at that school for term 4. And then waited 6 weeks to get the call to say that I applied for jobs in that term 4 that I didn't get. And then I got the call in January 2017, and I've been working at the same school ever since. So I've got a permanent job there, and I've been on year 4 for 3 years and absolutely loving it, because year 4, like I said, really good year to be on. What is your teaching bag of choice, and what are your essentials? My teaching bag of choice is definitely a backpack, and that is because I do travel on the train and do lots and lots of walking. So if I took like a handbag or something, I was finding it was just like hurting my shoulders so much, and I was like trying to be all cute and like match my outfit and my handbag, but literally no one sees your handbag. I feel like at school, you chuck it in the corner when you get into your classroom, and then you put it on when you take it home. You don't really like walk around with it with you. So I think like a backpack is probably the best idea, and that way you can put your laptop in there. Any like assessments that you need to take home will fit. You can put your full lunchbox, because you need to pack your lunch every day and not be naughty and get Uber Eats like I've been doing lately. And yeah, I think like a backpack's just the best like teacher bag. I think it's all well and good to have one of those beautiful like leather bags that fits your laptop in, but then your shoulder's like dead by the end of the day, especially if you're commuting or you're walking really, really far to your car or whatever the reason is. So I think that, yeah, just get a daggy teacher backpack. I have one. I think mine's quite, sorry, the camera cut me off. I have like a Herschel one, and I bought it 3 years ago, and it is like still pristine, and I literally throw it around on the train. What would you recommend a pre-service teacher to start gathering? Now, I think this is like the biggest myth in regards to teaching, because you obviously want to be prepared. You want to show that you're like a really prepared teacher. I would say don't prepare as a pre-service teacher anything. And well, mind blown, controversial. But I have so much stuff sitting there that I've never used, that I gathered as a pre-service teacher, being like, oh, maybe I'll use that one day. No, don't do that. That's so silly. It's a waste of your money. Like, learn from someone that has wasted so much money on stupid stuff, like resources that I'm never going to use, because a lot of the time your school will have a lot of resources, unless you're like at some school that has no resources for some reason. Your school will have like maths resources, will probably have books that you can borrow from the library instead of spending your own money at that Scholastic sale that seemed very tempting. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. It's so not worth it. Don't spend time laminating lesson stuff if you don't know you're teaching that lesson. It's just a waste of paper and plastic and storage space, because you got to store it somewhere. If you're not attached to a school yet, it's a bad call. So please don't waste money as a pre-service teacher. I know that sounds so wild, because you're just like, I want to get started. I want to decorate my room. I'm going to start gathering stuff now, which is something I so did. But if you want to save money and like save it up, and then once you get your classroom, if you want to spend money then. But I would try and not before then. And the sun is moving. This was a terrible time to film this. I have to like keep moving fast, and it's so hot, and I'm wearing like this huge like sweater jumper as well. Okay guys, I'm now in my kitchen because my camera is just having a shocker and the battery keeps dying. So I plugged it in, but I just wanted to sign off and say thank you so much for all of your beautiful questions. I'm gonna put this together now. It will probably be really choppy because I was looking at my phone for like so long. I was like, no one needs to see that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you kindly.